All right, this is lesson 3.6 for pre-algebra. 3.6 is solving equations by multiplying or dividing decimals. So solving equations by multiplying or dividing decimals. We see decimals every day. I just thought this little sign of gas prices was a good one because the price of gas and how much you use in your tank and how big your tank is. If you have a 10-gallon tank, you multiply it by the price of gas, and that'll tell you how much it is to fill up your tank. You guys aren't quite there yet with your own car, but you'll get there, and it's just crazy how much money you can spend. But for each equation, this first set of, you can notice what's happening in all three of these equations is that it's multiplication. If you notice, we have 0.8x, we have 2.3x, and we have negative 0.9n. Now that right there is three examples of multiplication. What that means is 0.8 times x equals 1.6, negative 1.6. So what we're going to do for all of these problems is the opposite of multiplication. So when I solve this, I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, and I'm going to divide both sides by 0.8. Now, on these, you can use a calculator. So I have 1.6 divided by 0.8. And my answer is 2. Now, remember, if this is a negative divided by a positive, your answer is going to be negative 2. So try the next two problems, and then we will go over them. Okay, so for this problem, I'm going to divide both sides by 2.3. Divide by 2.3. So I have 1.15 divided by 2.3, and it equals 0.5. So x equals 0.5. And then this last problem, I'm going to divide by negative 0.9. Divide by negative 0.9. So n, 81.81 divided by 0.9 equals 90.9. And my answer is going to be positive because I have a negative divided by a negative, which makes a positive answer. Okay, so try this problem. You paid $7.70 to mail a package that weighed 5.5 pounds. Write and solve an equation to find the cost per pound. So, it's going to be a division problem, multiplication problem, just like we just saw. Okay, so I have my package that weighs 5.5 pounds. Okay, 5.5 pounds. Do I know how many pounds it is? No. So that's my x. And the package weighs 5.5 pounds. I don't know how much it costs per pound, sorry. And then the total cost was $7.70. So remember when you're writing an equation that you put a number and the variable on one side, and then the total is on the second side. So when I do this, I'm going to divide both sides by 5.5, and this will tell me how much they're going to charge me per pound at the post office to mail my package. So I have 7.7 divided by 5.5. So they're going to charge me $1.40 per pound to mail my package. Okay, so now if you notice, we are doing the opposite operation. So this is division problems, so that means we're going to multiply. And if you remember from our last test, all you have to do is multiply these two numbers. You multiply the denominator by the constant. So yes, there are decimals, which makes it a little bit trickier, but that's really all you're doing. So you can use a calculator. So take out your calculator. So try these problems real quick, and then we will go over them. Okay, so here I am going to multiply both sides by -6. Multiply both sides by -6. So then my answer is going to be a negative answer, and if you know what half of 6 is, that's your answer. But most of you are going to plug it into the calculator, so you do 6 times 0.5, and you get 3. And make sure you keep it with a negative sign, so it's -3. This one I have multiply both sides by 2.5. Whoops. So S equals 5 times 2.5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10. So I get 12.5. And this one, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4.5. So then I'm going to have 80 times 4.5. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. Add a 0, 0, 32. And then I'm going to move my decimal one time, so I get -360. Don't forget your negative signs. It can get really easy to forget them because you're focusing more on 80 times 4.5 instead of -80. So it's -360. All right, suppose your batting average is 0.222. You have batted 54 times. How many hits do you have? So how they figure this out is they take the number of hits you have, okay? So let's say you have 10 hits, and they divide it by how many total at-bats that you get. So let's say you have 10 hits out of 54 bats. That would give you the decimal point of 0.22. Your batting average. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 54, and that will tell me how many actual times I hit the ball. So 54 times 0.222. 11.98, so pretty much 12 times. You can round, so because you can't hit the ball 11.98 times. So x equals 12. All right, that is it for your notes for 3.6.